Good morning everyone and welcome back to another Krebs Coho Company of Heroes cast. This time around what we're going to be doing is a 1v1 match on the map Angoville Farms. Now the reason we're doing this today is because I have a slight interest in this map specifically. The reason being is that over the weekend I held a live stream event which a lot of you partook in, and well, I basically took on one of you guys, one of the fans, in this map. So I have a little bit of an interest because I want to see what higher level players are doing on this map specifically. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, just before we get started, I'm going to say that over the next few episodes, what I'm going to be specifically doing is looking at high level play, alright? So we're going to be looking at level 20s, 19s, and 18s, around that range. And pretty much for every faction, Wehrmacht, Americans, doesn't matter, the opposing front factions as well. And we're just going to be seeing if they deploy anything unusual that we can maybe apply into our own strategies. Because that's what we need in this game, the unusual. Alright, just because the unusual is where people usually get better, okay? So there we go. Now we're going to be getting on over to the players and getting started very soon. I'll introduce the players just now. We've got BlackBerryUser up north in Angoville, who is going to be playing as the Americans. Alright, so that's Marina's right there. He is at the moment a level 18 American, okay? So very highly ranked. His opponent down south is going to be BlackBerryUser as the Wehrmacht. Now BlackBerryUser is the current level 20 Wehrmacht. This changes all the time, by the way. I know the ranks always change very, very frequently, like every few days or every week or so. The ranks really do just change between all the players. Just depends how well these players are doing competitively. BlackBerryUser at the moment, the level 20 Wehrmacht. Alright, so we're at the 5-second mark and we're going to be starting in 3 seconds. So in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We go to another very exciting matchup in the Company of Heroes battlefield. Okay, right from the get-go we have good luck, have fun, and same coming down from both players. So this is what I love. Alright, so whenever you're starting a match, it's always a good sort of courteous thing to say that to somebody, because there's no point in sort of starting off the match in an acrimonious sort of mood, right? I mean, sometimes, and this is only sometimes, I've seen replays where people actually start flaming each other right from the beginning. I don't know if they have some sort of prejudice from the beginning, from the get-go, but it's always a good idea not to start the match with an acrimonious mood, because what is the point of getting stressed right from the beginning? Get stressed at least in the mid to late game when it really counts, but not the beginning, because, come on, you gotta hang in there a little bit first, right? Anyway, so here we go. We've got the Americans just going down along the left-hand side of Angoville, just going to be capping away here. Notice the engineers connecting this point with the other engineers connecting that point. Reason being, because as you guys can see on the tactical map, we have that map power point being the vital sort of cutoff point. We all know that by now. We all know that! Don't be daft, we all know that. If you've been watching my replays, if you've been playing this game long enough, you should anyway. So we've also got riflemen coming out onto the right-hand side. Interesting sort of stuff. This means that we're probably going to have engineer and pioneer battles on the left hand side. Why? Because the Wehrmacht have pretty much done the same. They sent their pioneers down along the left hand side, and look at what's actually going on. We've got a lot of barbed wire coming down from both players. Notice how the barbed wire is being put down on this cross point over here, this cross section. That's sort of important in a way, because not only do you cut off your opponent from coming onto the left hand side, but you also cut off yourself from going onto the right hand side. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the American is sort of saying at the moment that he wants to actually fight on the left hand side specifically, if he's going to be sort of barricading himself in like that. Maybe that's the statement that he's making with that barbed wire. Seems kind of weird that a barbed wire can make a statement, but really a picture is worth 1,000 words, sort of like that, right? A barbed wire is worth 1,000 words. A lot of words of hate, isn't it? So we've also got BlackBerryUser just putting down a lot of barbed wire right in there in front of that truck specifically, because it provides green cover. For the Wehrmacht, what we have is that they've supplemented their pioneers with some Volksgrenadiers. Very good idea, because I don't know, I like what the Americans were doing with having the riflemen go along the right hand side, but I think what they should have done is, I don't know, maybe they should have kept on going along that right hand side, because usually it's always a good idea to have one rifleman support your engineers, because say for example down along the left hand side you have those pioneers. They may, and it's quite possible that they would get some support from Volksgrenadiers. So you know, if you can always supplement your engineer force with some riflemen, it's always a good idea just to hold back any sort of supplementation that your opponents could have. The Wehrmacht bringing in those Volksgrenadiers. So if they had a rifleman squad, that could definitely help a lot more. But instead, what Marinas has done is that it's actually just continued down along the right hand side. He said, screw you to the engineers, and just decided to keep on going with capping the right hand side. Probably because he knew that the left-hand side was going to be a little bit difficult to actually maintain a hold of. So if he can actually have the right-hand side with no opposition whatsoever, then hey-ho, he might as well go with that. BartonPL coming with a massive flank here. Notice that he's coming right around the Americans right there. He went along from the left-hand side, decapped that critical manpower point, and now he's come right on through the back. Interesting sort of stuff that he's got the MG facing this direction, specifically this rifleman squad. Good idea to actually get rid of them, but then again, that left him really exposed from anything coming from the northern side. Interesting sort of stuff that he did that. Nice thing though is that even if that did happen, that a flank came from the northern side, buildings very nearby, and also some Volksgrenadiers nearby to help support that MG if it did get flanked. So that's sort of good in that respect, but still very risky stuff coming from Barton so far. So let's take a look at what Marinas has. He has just a bunch of riflemen at the moment, so not really that much. Just going to be going down along the right rifleman sort of path, I suppose you could say. That's what you can really say. 4 riflemen, and we'll have to see what comes out of that. Maybe bars, maybe fast motor pull. It depends really. In the current state of affairs of what's going on for Marinas, it's kind of a difficult position because he doesn't have that much fuel. Yes, he has 61 saved up, but the critical thing here is that he doesn't have much of a fuel rate. Reason being because the right-hand side is pretty much securely cut off because of that MG and various other units over there. So now Marina's being sort of the smart player. He's saying, okay, I cannot get the right-hand side. It's going to be a bit difficult. I don't have grenades at the moment. I don't really have anything to take on that MG. So I could waste my time trying to take it on, or I could try moving along left-hand side where there's not that many units, and maybe I'll be more successful over there. Which to some extent he was. I mean, he did actually cap that vital manpower point, but now, then again, being suppressed by the MG, and now he's had to force retreat. So already from the start, not looking too good for BlackBerryUser at all. Switch on over to Barton and see what he's up to. So Barton is pretty much getting a lot of units over here. As you guys can see, he's got an accretion of various units. So just an accretion of various units, a build-up of quite a bit of men over here, and that's just what he's going to be doing. They all have their own vital role. The MG over here in this frontal building going to be preventing any units from even coming in this direction. You've got the Volksgrenadiers over here just capping, and the mines being pesky as they are, the rats that they are, just putting down mines for any inevitable attacks. Interesting position to be putting it right over here. If we see that the barbed wire, notice tons and tons of barbed wire from both players at the moment. Barbed wire over here negating this path. Alright, so I suppose the other main path that the riflemen could take if they came this direction was probably would be along this way, and they would just crash into a mine right there. So I suppose in that respect it's a good idea for the Wehrmacht, because if they did have to retreat out of their frontal building over here, they could easily just fall back over this mine, past this point, and you know, the riflemen would be in hot pursuit and they'd probably land over that mine. Lots and lots of barbed wire. Love this sort of stuff. But this is something that a lot of us need to apply into our games. I mean, you know, barbed wire can be useful. I think what we're used to is just barbed wire in defenses. Say putting in front of your sandbags or something like that. But this case with a lot of pros is that they spam barbed wire to beyond belief. I mean, that's all they really do. They just spam it like crazy because, hey ho, it's free. I mean, if barbed wire costs like 5 manpower per set, then maybe people wouldn't use as much, but it's free, so you might as well just spam it like crazy, and it is always useful, so why not? If your guys aren't doing anything, just go ahead and do that. I love what the Americans are doing at the moment. Oh my god, landing on a bunch of mines. Wow, that killed quite a few guys. I love what the Americans are doing. Notice that smoke barrage coming down. We saw that mortar round land right on top of the Volksgrenadiers. You know, I thought that was going to be a normal mortar round, just kill a bunch of guys there. I mean, it landed right in the middle of them. Imagine if that was a normal mortar round, that would be perfect, but no, it was just a smoke canister. Good idea. Very good idea. I mean, there's plenty of ways to actually counter an MG by flanking it from various directions, but also the more underused way is through the use of smoke barrages. And this is what we see. I mean, then again, you could use your mortar team just to directly attack the MG, you know, just the normal mortar rounds, the normal shells. But then again, also another perfect way of doing it is that smoke. I mean, it provides you cover. You can easily flank that MG, get on around it. Great idea. So what I'd actually like to see, and what we actually see it happening right now, is a way to say that the mortar should start using his normal mortar rounds rather than the smoke. And that's what's coming down, damaging these Volksgrenadiers quite severely. I'd love to see these Volksgrenadiers get some health packs on them at the moment. Yes, there we go. Perfect stuff, because they had 5 men still in that squad, just that they were very, very badly damaged. And now they're being healed up, but at the same time being injured. Damaged there, I suppose that's all you can say. BlackBerryUser moving on forward. Going to be reinforcing his sides over here, coming in from the flanks with his Volksgrenadiers. And the MG set up right over here. So fair enough stuff going on. The rifleman got a very good position in that building. I was quite surprised actually that Barton didn't retreat his Volksgrenadiers sooner than that, because I mean, you're not really going to win in a situation like that where your enemy is held up in a building. Yes, Volksgrenadiers are better at longer range, but then again, the riflemen had plenty of windows to stick out of, and also just because they naturally have a better defensive cover inside a building. Oh, looks like some barbed wire was cut over here, and they're retreating through that. So it looks like the Wehrmacht have totally retreated along the right hand side. They've pretty much lost it. Just the only thing that's holding it off in the center is that MG on the right hand flank. So over on the left hand side, what we have is, again, lots and lots of defensive sort of things coming down. Tank traps with barbed wire behind, preventing vehicles from actually breaking that barbed wire if that actually happens. Great sort of stuff. Also that MG preventing anyone from actually coming out of this choke point between the fences over there. Now looking at BlackBerryUser, what he has is a T2 Center Krieg barracks, with also producing that half track. So he's going heavy infantry, as you guys can see, heavy infantry, and this is what he's going to be doing. He doesn't want to abdicate his position here. He doesn't want to give it up. He's not going to let Marinas move in. He's got all these defenses coming up, and this is exactly what I mean. He's not going to abdicate this area. He's got the MG preventing anyone from even coming in this direction. He's got tank traps preventing any sort of M8's going to be crushing the wire if that happens, or half tracks or anything like that. He's just got MGs and defenses placed right on around the map. So this looks very, very dire and desperate for Marinas, because how is he going to penetrate this? Well, he's actually skipped his bars and gone for an M8. In that respect, I think that's maybe a good idea. You know, bars could definitely help with taking on these Volksgrenadiers because they don't even have any veterancy. Then again, M8 might be a good idea because there's no any proper AT out on the field. Then again, there are a lot of Volksgrenadiers, remember Panzerfaust, so you need to be a bit careful on that front. So we've got the half track right there that's going to be helping reinforce all of these Volksgrenadiers. Going to be very important because at the moment we don't have a doctrinal selection with Barton. It might be a good idea if he went defensive because he has this MG bunker over here, so he could easily reinforce from that. But then again, there's probably no point for going for defensive since there's a half track over here. So it sort of negates some of the purpose of the defensive doctrine. So I don't imagine he would go defensive. Now let's head on over to BlackBerryUser and see maybe if he's gotten anything. No, it doesn't actually look like it. This M8 really needs to get out of here because it's in such a bad position with the pack just to the back. Oh my gosh! Literally almost being taken out right there. Just a millisecond longer out in the open, and he would definitely have been destroyed there. So very lucky indeed to actually get away from there, and at least he caused a little bit of damage against the half track, but really not that much. Pioneer's already going to be repairing it. So right hand side again being captured, and BlackBerryUser is so horrendously low on his points. I mean, again, the Wehrmacht really do not want to abdicate their positions. They don't want to actually lose what they've captured so far. And I believe this is where I went wrong in my last video, the one that I done against one of my fans, is that I had so many infantry but not enough things to actually properly hold down the area. Now notice that the Wehrmacht have MGs and such. This should always be a staple part of your army, and MG should almost always be with your army. Whenever you have Volksgrenadiers, whenever you have Grenadiers, always try to supplement it with some MG fire to suppress the enemy, and that's always a great idea, because when you got tons and tons of engineers here, for example, and tons of riflemen, it's always a great idea to have something just to at least hold them back, because your Volksgrenadiers alone might not actually be capable to actually take them on, especially when they have bars or anything like that out. Lucky for the Wehrmacht, the Americans don't have any bars out at the moment. Come on, Marines, get back on into this fight. It's going to be very, very difficult, because Barton's really not leaving him any chance to move in, is he? I mean, you've got the Volksgrenadiers here and the MGs just suppressing all the infantry. You've got that half-track just reinforcing everything on the field. You've also got the pack right here. You're going to be trying to counter this M8, even though it's not directly shooting at it at the moment. It's going to be at least scaring it away, right? Wow, what we've got from the half-track is actually the Flammenwerfer coming out, the upgrade on it, helping these guys actually take on the infantry. You know, MG could always be good, but when you got so many flanks going on, when you got so many flanks and from riflemen and flame engineers, hey-ho, it's never a bad idea to have some extra firepower, and literally firepower coming out from Barton over here. So I love this sort of stuff. It's quite unusual if you ask me, because how many times have we, after watching all these replays on my channel, all these casts, how many times have you actually seen a Flammenwerfer? I honestly can say that I don't really remember the last time I've seen a Flammenwerfer. So, well done. There you go. That's some unusual stuff, but it's a good idea, because he has pretty much everything. Barton has pretty much everything he needs to make a frontal assault and also be defensive at the same time. He's got the pack for the AT. He's got the half-track. He's also got, for reinforcements, he's got the Volksgrenadiers just providing general anti-infantry and also anti-tank support. So there we go. Sniper just out for Marines, gonna be countering these guys to some effect. Hopefully, I don't know. Sniper is gonna be definitely a great idea to help take on these men. But then again, one sniper might not be enough, okay? Oh my gosh, the sniper being so close to dying. M8 trying to get in the way of it to block it. Oh no, it's actually been burnt to death on retreat. How horrendous. Could this come at the cost of the Flammenwerfer? This could potentially mean it. But then again, look at all these guys here coming in for a Panzerfaust shot. 1, 2. Ooh, was that a third one? No, it didn't look like a third one. A third one could have finished it off, but I believe for some reason it just did not come out. I don't know really why it didn't come out. But the Flammenwerfer going down, so that doesn't mean any sort of things to help reinforce these guys out on the field. So I don't know if Barton, or not Barton, if Marinas had the force at the moment, you know, the infantry, maybe he could move in, but it doesn't look like he has that. And this is the least of the things I need right now, and Ostwind just coming out on the field. So, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. At least an 18 gun is out for BlackBerryUser. He obviously recognized, hey, I've barely kept this the control on this map for pretty much this entire round. So I don't know, there's gonna be definite heavy tanks coming out sooner or later. And there we go, the Ostwind going to be coming out, and at least the AT gun was there to take it out. Unfortunately, one of the rifleman squads going down in the meantime. More snipers coming out for BlackBerryUser, but I don't know, you know, he lost one sniper already. Gotta see what's going to happen with that. If he's going to have any success with it, he needs multiple snipers. One sniper by itself is not going to be able to take on all these men. He needs more than one. He needs at least two, preferably 3 or more. That's going to be really expensive, you know, that's about 1,000 manpower just for all those snipers. So that's a long-term plan. If he's going to be doing that, that's a long-term plan. It's unfortunate that he already lost one sniper, okay? More defensive positionings coming down along the right-hand side of a bunker. We've also got the left-hand side pretty much still in the hands of the Wehrmacht, with the AT gun trying to take out that... that bunker. Oh no, Barton, no, don't do this, you nasty, nasty bugger. He's going in for an absolute kill here, right on top of the AT gun. In fact, being so having no mercy whatsoever, destroying the gun, killing the men, and just destroying it all together. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling so bad for Marinez because this is kind of humiliating for him in a way, isn't it? Now, Barton is really not abating his position here. He's really not abating anything with his force. He's just being completely harsh, having no mercy for BlackBerryUser at the moment. He's not lessening his stance at all. He's not going easy on him. He's just pounding him as hard as he can. He's bringing the Goliaths. He's bringing the Ostfinns. He's just trying to end this game as soon as he can. And fair enough. I suppose that's what he needs to do. MG just taking some hot shots from the sniper, but the Ostfinn's just about there. I don't know. This is obviously going to be in Barton's favor over here. 76 points left with the game just about to be ending here. And airborne squad's coming down. What do you guys think about that? Airborne right in the middle of an Ostwind? I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see the Ostwind, but then again, oh man, these guys are pretty much dead. They are pretty much gone. I don't even think BlackBerryUser is going to be really caring about what happens here. He's trying to get away. Sniper is trapped, in fact. Oh my gosh. This is horrendous. This is horrendous stuff. The sniper was actually trapped. How unlucky was that? It was trapped between the Ostwind and the tank traps. And I guess this is just how the pros like to do it, isn't it? Unusual strategies, getting that half track out, getting the Flammenwerfer on it just to support all the men. They can still reinforce. And also getting the Ostwind out as soon as possible. The only reason that Ostwind came out... Oh, the playback is actually over. The only reason that Ostwind actually came out was because Barton had his position, had all these positions for so long. Just taking a quick look at this wee man over here who is actually suspended in midair at the moment. He is Harry Houdini, or David Blaine, just sort of hanging in midair at the moment. Although David Blaine didn't actually go that high in the air, it was at literally like a few inches off the ground. I think it was actually just a sort of camera angle trick, if anything. But there we go, that's David Blaine for the airborne right there. Fair enough. Anyway, guys, so that's what the Wehrmacht play is like. Now, what I actually like about the about this cast, this replay, was that actually BlackBerryUser Marinez posted it on game replays. It wasn't BartonPL posting it to, you know, get his ego out there. It was actually Marinez who, that's what I like, the acrimonious sort of tone of things. Just having respect for your, or the, not having acrimonious tone. Alright? So having some respect for your opponent and just being humbled in a way of what they do if they win, right? Anyway, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this replay. The Wehrmacht obviously had a very good stance throughout the entire game. They got that half track, they got the Ostwind out as soon as possible, and then again, the fuel race, just maintaining a hold of the fuel, putting down loads and loads of tank traps and barbed wire, also bunkers, and just lots and lots of defenses just to prevent the American from even moving out. That's a surefire way of success. So anyway, guys, until next time, see you all later. Bye-bye.